Well, here we are again, the Smash Bros. Universe. It's one of the biggest nostalgia rides any Nintendo fan will ever take. Everything from the characters, the stages, the items, it all just brings you back to the good old days, when things were simple. But every now and then, Masahiro Sakurai throws us a curveball. Defeating the Master and Crazy Hand on a more intense difficulty reveals this. Who is this? What is this? The Master Core is such a strange and ominous entity. No backstory, no real identity, no nothing. So let's try and find out just what the hell Master Core even is. And in order to do that, we're gonna need to go back. Back to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now this video is going to be directly referenced to the one I made a while ago about Taboo, so if you haven't seen it, click the image on the screen and it'll take you there. If you don't want to watch it, then I'll quickly highlight the points that are necessary for revealing Master Core's true identity. The entire world of Smash Bros. Revolves around a child. This child is represented by the Master and Crazy Hand. The characters are essentially toys that the child plays with. That's basically the Smash Bros. Universe in a nutshell, a kid playing with toys. I gave the boy the age of 6 years old for an example. In 1999 with the original Smash, he was 6, 2 years later with Melee, he was 8, and 7 years later with Brawl, he was 15. Taboo represented society, scorning the child for being that old and still playing with toys. The final battle showed the child coming to terms with who he is and defeating society, living his life how he wants to. Fast forward to 2014. The child is now, well, not really a child anymore. He's now a 21-year-old man, but for the sake of the video, I'll still be referring to him as the child. Anyway, the child is now 21 years old and still doing what he loves. Good for him. Right? I'm not too sure about that. Where does the Master Core even come from? It comes from inside the Master Hand. Quite literally, it violently erupts, takes on its multiple forms, and starts attacking you. You see, Taboo was an external obstacle. It was society telling the child to grow up and stop doing baby things. The Master Core is an internal obstacle. It's all of the boy's negative thoughts. Taboo was a powerful enemy, symbolizing how strong society dislikes anyone or anything that's different. His self-esteem was hit tremendously hard at the fact that his hobby, the thing that brought him joy, was considered to be taboo or not normal. Because of this, the enemy isn't a specific person or some type of ideal. The enemy is himself. All of the Master Core forms are symbolic representations of the boy's negative and destructive thoughts about himself. This is why they're all so dark and sinister looking. They're made out of pure depression and negativity. Let's take a look. The first form is the Master Giant. It has a very humanoid look to it, possibly representing the dark side of the child, kind of like Dark Link. The Master Giant is the devil on the shoulder, so to speak. The inner voice that's telling the child, maybe those people are right. It's time to stop playing with your toys and be normal. Once you defeat the Master Giant, it then spawns the Master Beast. Now when you think of a beast, a lot of different images can possibly pop in your head, but the overall image of a beast is something like this. This ferocious and vicious creature, symbolized here by the child's anger and resentment towards the world. Society labeled this boy as not being normal. That can easily frustrate anybody, so much so that it could push you to the point of resentment, creating your own inner beast, the part of you that's full of vengeance towards the world that outcasted you. Defeating the Master Beast reveals the Master Edges. The symbolism of a sword has many different iterations from many different regions, but my favorite is the philosophical interpretation. To quote, "The sword is symbolic of the penetrating power of the mind, and encourages the wielding of trained intellect to bring about the results we seek." To translate, it basically means that the sword is only as powerful as the person wielding it. Not exactly physical strength, but mental strength. And wouldn't you know it, the swords are out of control. They wildly swing all over the place. It's really hard to telegraph when they're going to do something. This is a possible portrayal of mental instability. There's obviously a lot going on in this child's head. So much so that he's becoming a tad bit unstable. Not exactly Forrest Gump levels of unstable, but more in the sense of constantly overthinking everything and not being in full control of your emotions. Up next, we have the Master Shadow. Here, you're forced to fight a dark doppelganger of the character you've chosen. Remember our good friend Master Giant, a shadow representation of the player? Well, the Master Shadow is a depiction of the toys themselves, a possible portrayal of denial. That's why the toys are now the ones with the evil shadows. At this point, the child has been through a plethora of strong emotions. By now, he feels society may be right, but he doesn't want to believe it. His mindset is probably something like, I want to be normal, really, but it's not my fault. This is just so addicting. If I could stop, I would. I'd give anything to be normal. Almost done. Up next is the Master Fortress. The Master Fortress is a huge maze, easily depicting the child's entire conscience. We're traveling inside his mind. We soon come to find out that it's grim and depressing. Regardless, we have to fight our way through it. All of the negativity and darkness that we had to go through felt almost impossible to actually defeat. It was all a literal hell we had to deal with. But after we push through it all and conquer everything, we're left with this strange looking orb. This orb symbolizes all of the negativity that was trapped inside of you. Every powerful emotion that took on a physical form is now trapped inside this orb. It's the core of all of the negative thoughts that have been brewing inside of you. And after you've pushed through and managed to shut those inner voices up, you've earned the right to shatter it. Master Core was directly born from society's need to judge people who are different. It's the impact of putting negative labels on people. There's that famous saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." That's the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. A broken bone will eventually heal, but the influence of people's voices, that can rattle in your mind forever. The Master Core symbolizes all of those repressed and negative emotions, and it's up to you to conquer and overcome them, because you're the only one who can truly find peace within yourself. But hey, I could be totally wrong. In the end, it's up to you to interpret the meaning and identity of Master Core, since he's so mysterious. There is one thing, however, I will tell you as fact. It's that it's important to do the things that make you happy. Don't ever let other people run your life. If playing with toys brings a smile to your face, then more power to you.
Ready, go! The winner is Red Team!
So hey, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. Also hit that subscrizzle button if you're new here. There's also some other videos of mine you can check out. That's about it. Bye-bye now.